And Kobe had a real hard time that year and was disrespectful. And so I went in and told the leadership that, even though we were negotiating a contract, that I think that Kobe was uncoachable and he was difficult to handle at this time, probably.
All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all are having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a good day. Coming to you with a video. I'm going to react to this. It's called Phil Jackson Shares Untold Stories About Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And this is recent. This is as of just a couple of days ago on a channel called JT Fox. And I have not seen this interview yet. And I'm excited about it. Even if he doesn't talk much about MJ and Kobe or whatever, I'm here for it. I know Phil is getting up there in age, and we don't have that long to indulge in these stories that he has. And we all know from him coaching two of the greatest of all time, his experience and his stories are, for lack of a better word, just absolutely priceless. So I'm excited for this. Hope you guys are too. And I'm going to link the original video down below for you guys, as I always do. That's going to be in the description box. So if you guys want to check out this channel, or if you want to just watch this interview on your own, go for it. Everybody else, please leave this video a like. Helps out a ton. And I appreciate it every time. Let's see what Phil has to share.
40 years of being in this business enriched my life in more ways than just money. It's about the relationships and the joy from it.
What's your definition of loyalty?
Know who's on your side, who's got your back. Treat
Right.
them the same way.
You have one choice to start a team around, and it's Kobe, Shaq, or Michael Jordan. Who's your first pick? The question that I think everybody wants to know is, did you miss me?
I think you were right here behind me all the time. I felt it.
I know, but
knew you were there.
I felt like I wasn't good enough in front of you, but behind you is not good enough as well. So, Phil, I just want to talk to some people are wondering, you've got a cane. How old are you now?
77.
77.
Wow, I didn't know he was that up there. 77.
Oh, still look really good.
Yeah, props.
So, is it basketball-related injuries, or is it the knees? Or because even when you're playing, you're always at that higher seat than everybody else. And you had excellent posture, by the way. Just very, so what was it? What is it right now happening?
Well, when I was in my second year as a player, I herniated discs, L45S1, and I had to have a fusion. I sat out a year and have a fused lower back, so that's one of the reasons I probably sit like this. And as a result, I have a atrophied nerve damage in the calf of my right leg here, the soleus muscle, which controls your toe, your big toe. And so there's a lot of things that emanated out of that. Eventually, somewhere in my 10th year, I came back and was ready to start playing again. Hadn't done a lot of workout in the summer.
I think he played his whole career for the Knicks, by the way.
I've been building a house at kind of a personal challenge to build a house and
like himself?
Collaborate with a brother and another person, a friend of mine. And I came back and I wasn't able to dunk.
Wait, so him and two other people built a house? Damn, dude.
All of a sudden, this is my power leg because I'm a left-hander. And I needed to stop, build it up, get it back again. And as a result, all these other things have fallen behind the knee. I have had this knee replaced, both my hips replaced.
Good
so,
Lord.
I'm a little bit of a walking, alarm when I go through the airport.
He's the bionic man
Is it
now.
worth it?
Yeah, it really was.
Why?
Well, there's a lot of joy in the activity that, and being part of the 40 years of being in this business or more has been enriched my life in more ways than just money. Money is not the item or the principle about that. It's about the relationships and the joy from it.
That's how you know someone loves the game of basketball right there. He's talking about all these limbs and crap he's had to replace over the years for the game of basketball, but he's like, yeah, it's worth it.
So Michael and Kobe, and even Shaq, very strong personalities, right? Leaders, great players. Did they ever disrespect you? Like as a coach, things get heated, locker room, stuff like that. And how did you like give them a pass because it's them, or did you like straighten up the authority role, or you never really had that relationship where it even got to that level of that?
No, I had that with some players. I had it with Kobe in the first rundown. He went through the incident in Colorado that was, an abuse case that was settled out of court. And during that year was a very difficult year for him. He was angry. Mm-hmm. And we brought in Karl Malone and Gary Payton to shore up the team. And we lost, Robert Horry and some of the players, Rick Fox, some of the players that had been part of a championship. And we kind of replaced them with these two guys that were really stars. And Kobe had a real hard time that year and was disrespectful. And so I went in and told the leadership that, even though we were negotiating a contract, that I think that Kobe was uncoachable and he was difficult to handle at this time. Probably wasn't the best coach. I wasn't the best coach for him. And that totally turned around 2 years later when we reunited and we went through this final 4 or 5 years of my coaching and won a couple championships.
Yeah, it's funny because we have so many instances now of Phil talking about this, and hell, he even wrote a book about it. But and I get it. I'm a fan of Kobe Bryant, but there's so many Kobe fans out there that won't even acknowledge that this happened. That Phil did say, this guy's uncoachable, I can't do it, and then he stepped away from the Lakers. He was asked to come back 2 years later. Jeannie asked him to come back, and he sat down and talked to Kobe about it, and Kobe had seemed to have matured and changed. So Phil decided to give it another shot, and the rest is history. They were great that second run together. They won 2 championships, went to the finals 3 straight years, and the respect was there, and it was very mutual. But up until that point where Phil left after 2004, no, him and Kobe were really, really not well. It was not a good relationship that they had whatsoever. And I don't know. I never saw this as like a stain on Kobe's career, but it seems like a lot of people are gatekeeping this story as though it didn't happen because they're treating it like it's a stain. But that's just Kobe was. Kobe came out of high school cocky as all hell. That's what made him Kobe freaking Bryant.
He and I just had a meeting of the minds, and I think it was the idea that I had tried to harness him in a way. When I first came to the Lakers, I couldn't believe how many things he did that resembled Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, the poses, the way he played the game. He did everything but the tongue. Michael always had his tongue out when he was doing something at the very moment of that moment.
Yeah, he got that from his dad.
And Kobe didn't have his hands, but he used to do all the very same things. Stand and hold his hand up in the same way Michael did in a final shot against Utah Jazz. And I just was like, Kobe, don't take over the ball games. It's not time. He was 21, 22 years of age at the time. Yeah. That's what he wanted to do, most of all. And
that's true. Kobe didn't learn that until later on in his career. I'd say about midpoint, 2007, somewhere around there. So about 10 years in. Yeah, it was, don't take over the game in the first. Take the game over in the fourth. Get everyone involved the first 3 quarters, and then you're old reliable. That was the MJ way as well, and it's very successful. Get your team involved first.
So when I came back to coach him when he was 26, 27, a father, and his life had changed considerably, he understood all of that. But what he understood more than anything was about leadership, about being the leader, and how you make other players better, not just about how you make your star shine.
Yeah.
Do you think,
Well said.
I always saw that it's important to have a coach, and do you think that people, players or business, without coaching, they can't really truly excel to their best potential? Like, can people self-coach themselves to greatness? And what do you think the role of a coach should be? And what was your role?
You know, I look at these tennis players, and these tennis players go through coaches. And the one thing about tennis is that they've never been able to coach from the grandstands. They can't even, not supposed to send hand signals or anything else. But I got close to some of the tennis players on the pro circuit, and I was like, how does that help you? And they said, it helps from the standpoint of mental mind control and about when you're not in sync, being in sync. And sometimes we get in our own way, and sometimes it just takes someone to say, hey, settle down.
Accountability.
Be who you are.
So why do people quit? Right? Great talent, great people, they have this amazing opportunity, and they quit and they settle. Why is that? I mean, you've coached great players, and you've probably coached people that didn't work out. What's the difference?
I think it's an internal drive. I think there's something that is in somebody's background, the parental background, their childhood, something that is bump them either in a way in which they want to succeed, and they're driving towards that, or they're driving for success, or they've been dented or shunned or somehow or other dampened as a child, and they can only go so far. Then they don't want to be in the spotlight. They don't want to be at that pressure point. They don't want to have to deal with all the things that come along with success. And when there's success, there's a lot of things to deal with.
That's true. I've always said the money that would follow would be great, but the fame, I would hate it. I would absolutely hate it to be a star. Like, it's just not for me. Not that kind of lifestyle is not for me.
I asked a couple of people that know you, and they said one word to describe you is loyalty. I'm a big believer in loyalty, 24/7, 365. What's your definition of loyalty?
Well, know who's on your side, who's got your back, and then treat them the same way.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
What a simple way to put it, too. And it sounds so cliche, but it's a lot harder than most people realize to actually know who's got your back. Words are cheap in this world. So when you see people actually have your back and not ask for anything in return, those are your people. Those are the people that no matter what, even if it's like an embarrassing situation or something, they'll be out there. Yeah, I got your back. I'll be out there and to help you. And then they don't mention it. The ones who constantly bring it up after the fact, those are the ones who are trying to guilt you because they want something out of you now. You know what I mean? That's more mafia style. You do me a favor, I owe you a favor. But yeah, loyalty is a hell of a thing in this world. There's a lot of sheep in. There's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing. So yeah, be careful. Always look for those signs. If somebody does you a favor, see how they react afterwards. Be thankful to them. But if they constantly bring up that favor that they did for you, that's probably not a loyal person. That's just somebody who's looking for a transaction.
For you, obviously, you haven't
Done the same way.
What's next for you? Obviously, you haven't done much, and I'm so honored that you've been here before and you're building a house and doing all these things. What's next for you at this point?
I'm collaborating on a book about 75 anniversary of the NBA and the 75 players that were chosen for that 75 greatest. And my co-author, Sam Smith, wrote the book about Michael Jordan Rules.
I still got to read
And,
that.
right now he's going through a health issue, so we kind of held back on it. But I've just said it's not going to be, I don't want it to be, out front blockbuster type thing that's done by one of the 4 big printing companies. I want it to be something that's subtle, silent, quiet, just to be remembered. Looking back at these 75 years, the differences in the game, what it's like now as opposed to what it was like when I was a player, or what it was like when George Mikan came in the game and played in the game in the 40s.
That's cool. So he's going to kind of, he's going to just silently release this book. So in other words, we might not hear about it when it actually comes out. So something to look out for, because he's not, obviously he's not doing this for money or clout, or else he would like promote the hell out of it. But he said he's just going to kind of silently release it. That way it's just documented.
Makes you the most happy when you were playing basketball, and what makes you the most happy now? Or when you're coaching basketball versus what makes you happy now? What brings you joy?
One of my trainers
Nachos.
said, the moment that we have to capture is when we're on the bus, leaving a visiting arena, we've won the game, and the fans are beating on the bus and yelling names at us.
Yeah. That means job's done. You did what you were supposed to do.
Last question. We're putting a basketball team together, right? And that's a good idea. I wasn't going to do that, but we could start our own team. By the way, have you ever ventured in the business world? Did you ever?
Oh.
What kind of businesses and what?
It was a health club.
A gym, like before playing, after playing, during the.
In between playing and coaching.
And
Wow.
how did that go?
Went okay. The hospital eventually bought the club from.
Did you like being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I did.
What did you like about it?
I like the dedication to making it a success.
Did you manage your managers and people in the same way you managed no? Completely,
No.
so completely different style.
I had a partner, so we shared kind of duties, and I did a lot of the, radio, 15
Promotions,
minutes
right?
on the radio talking about health and going to see the Kiwanis Club and the Lions Club and things like that, And he took care of the swimming pool, the mechanics and the boiler and the chemistry that was in the swimming pool. And we took care together of the chemistry of our workers.
So
That's
last
cool.
question.
I would have
So
never known that.
You have one choice to start a team around, and it's Kobe, Shaq, or Michael Jordan.
MJ.
Who's your first pick?
Michael Jordan has got to be the
Yep.
first pick.
No hesitation.
He was extremely coachable.
Extremely coachable. Everybody. Wow. Coming from this guy who's got what? 6, 5, 11 rings as a coach alone. I just want to hear that again.
First pick.
Michael Jordan has got to be the first pick. He was extremely coachable.
So when we talk about a guy like LeBron James or whatever nowadays and how uncoachable he is, man, Michael Jordan being coachable basically from day one with Phil all the way to the end, like that's why he's the GOAT, man. He sacrificed whatever he had to sacrifice in order to make his team better and to win championships. That's all he cared about. Now, when Phil ran into a young Kobe wasn't quite there yet, because Kobe was more about himself in the beginning. He wanted to prove to the world that he was great. And then after he proved that he was great, then he was like, okay, now I want to win. But yeah, Phil had to deal with young Kobe. And man, Shaq also he wasn't all about winning like that. He was all about winning to get his first championship. And then after that, he was kind of cruising. Yeah. People always say like, oh, LeBron never had a good coach like Phil. Dude, LeBron and Phil would not have gotten along, because Phil would have tried to coach him and LeBron would not. He's not coachable. So, LeBron just does his own thing and then he blame shifts the coach. MJ, man, you never heard one negative thing about him saying anything about Phil. Not one bad thing. Still to this day, always respect for Phil. He always follows what Phil says all the way to the very last shot where Phil was saying, you're coming up short. This is 98, then the 98 finals, game 6. You're coming up short. You have no legs. He was like, go with the follow through on your shot. And if you look at that last shot that he took to win that 6th championship, he had that follow through. That's what made it look so epic. But the thing is MJ wasn't showing off. He was listening to his coach, and his coach told him, follow through on the shot. That way you don't come up short because you have no legs. I just got goosebumps just talking about it and thinking about it. The relationship between coach and player, especially the greatest of all time, being that tight, amazing. Sorry for the rant.
You know what? My first pick is you, because I know that I'll never make you happy, so I'll work very hard to make you happy so that one day when I give you a championship of business, you'll be like, you did okay. So in closing, what did you think, Phil, of the interview and this crowd and everything? I am ending before our time is done. What did you think, and did we live up to those expectations for you?
Well, I think I should ask the crowd. What do you think?
What is this show, JT Fox?
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Jackson. Any final word of Zen advice you have for all of us, Dad?
Be of good cheer.
What did he
Phil
say?
Jackson, everybody.
Be of good cheer.
What did he say?
Phil Jackson, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He called him, okay. I'm going to need to look into this. JT Fox, he also called Phil Dad. I don't know if that was real or that was just a joke or what the heck it was. But I'm curious now, so I'm going to have to look into this. This was a short and sweet interview, but hey, these were some good questions. And I love that Phil didn't hesitate on his answers. He just says it as it is. So, yeah, him covering the young Kobe issues, but then also ending it by covering how much Kobe matured within just 2 years of them parting ways was awesome. His easy pick at MJ as the person he'd start a team with. That's awesome. That's what I always say too. There's no doubt in my mind when I'm looking to start a team with a star, I'm looking for someone who's not that selfish. He's got to be a killer, but I don't want someone who's gonna put himself above the team. And also I look for somebody who's coachable. So a guy like Jordan, a guy like Bird, and a guy like let's say Tim Duncan are extremely high on my list because of those reasons. Because I want someone who is coachable and will do what's best for the team no matter what. No matter how he feels individually, I want someone who's going to lay it out on the line for the team and follow suit and not sit around and blame people for the loss or whatever. If you have a bad game, you're going to blame the coach and all that crap. I don't want that on my team. Also, Phil Jackson building a house. That's a crazy story. Man, I'm born in '82, and even for me, that was just one generation behind. That's something that my parents' generation did. I don't know anybody in my generation that actually built a house. But that sounds like an awesome thing. Building a cabin would be awesome. That's always something I thought about, but I'm getting a little too old for that idea. But building a cabin would be extremely rewarding, in my opinion. Anyways, I'm going off on a rant about nothing here. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed this, and I'll be looking out for that book from Phil whenever it does come out about the 75 and 75. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. And like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next one. All right, have a wonderful, peaceful night. Tell your loved ones you love them. Be good to everyone. And I'll see you soon.